You are tuned to Comedy on the Edge, produced by Francis DiMenno, sponsored by the Middle East Cafe.
Hero or bad hero guy today?
Yep, that's a hero.
Okay. Are you going to come right up? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for Francis.
What's that noise, Vance?
One.
Planted a microphone in somebody's intestine.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. Intestine, 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, hey, look. There's an emergency guitar pick.
Hi. I'm a pirate, a cybernetic pirate in cyberspace. Sure, and this eye patch of mine also doubles as a mouse.
Somebody has a guitar pick stuck to the microphone. You know you're in a music club when. Hi, I'm Francis DiMenno. I need $5. Won't you help? Give it to me now, care of me, right away, hurry, limited time offer, today only. Tomorrow might be too late. Yesterday wasn't any too soon either. No, just joking.
All right.
Let's not serious.
Come on.
Hey, wait a minute. You gotta teach them their place, you see. See, because, welcome to Comedy on the Edge. My name is Francis DiMenno, and we're beginning a whole new season here at Comedy on the Edge. And I think you're going to be excited and scintillated by the stunning array of stellar talent that we have assembled for your delectation here today, my friends. And this fellow that's coming up is one of my favorite guys in all the world, besides being, I think, one of the most naturally funny people on the face of the planet. I'm talking, of course, about me. But actually, Steve over here, Mr. Steve Iskovitz, is like one of the best. And I want you to, like, please give him a warm round of applause. Mr. Steve Iskovitz.
Well, that was impossible. It was an impossible description to live up to. Actually, I really. These microphones are. Hello. I like this one because it just disguises the nasal quality of my voice a little bit. Actually, I really have no desire to be funny at all. I'm not going to do any comedy. I'm just going to talk. Because I hate comedy. I hate when people laugh. So I'm just here. No, I guess I better do comedy. That's what you're here for. Okay, first I'm going to do my, hold on a second. This is my stand-up comedy. This is my normal comedy routine.
You need adjustments?
Hey, how you doing? Just got married. How's it going? Hey, can I have a little echo?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Just got married. Oh, anything happened on the way to the show? How's it going? Say, you're a good crowd. Hey. That's my normal comedy routine. Now the rest of this is going to be, see, I've been thinking about trying to figure out what it is I do.
Whoa! Oh,
Obviously, I'm not very good at mechanical things. But,
Hey, Fred.
oh, it's the only guy who's taller than me.
Fred.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, I've pretty much bombed so far, I think. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to pull out my, one of my better jokes here, which is Frank Sinatra singing Way Out by the Way Out. We're going way out. That's where the fun is. That's where the sun is, baby. Way out. Apparently there aren't any Flintstones fans here. Well, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by pretending that I memorized my material. Any X-Files? I know there's one X-Files fan here. I'll do my second X-Files impression. Scully, are you familiar with the phenomenon of cattle mutilation? Yeah, she always plays the dumb one, you know. It's like she spends all her time investigating UFO phenomena. You know. She doesn't know anything about it. Oh, well, I'm actually in kind of a bad mood today because I just found out I have to go to a family function where half the people there are going to ignore me and the other half are going to try to destroy me. So, that's why I'm in kind of a bad mood. Okay, I'll do my impression of a vegetarian's friend. Rice and beans again. Okay, I live in Waltham. A lot of people make fun of Waltham. They think that half the people there are crazy and the other half are retarded. But they're wrong, because actually some people are both. Well, okay, now I'll get to the human services thing. I have to tune myself first. You know, you know how you tune a guitar, you know? Make sure all the strings are right? I have to tune myself. Okay, now I'm tuned. Okay, now I can start making fun of human services. Okay, see, half the people here, actually, yeah, about half the people here work in the human services industry, and now I get to say what I've always thought about it. And I have a captive audience, so there's nothing anyone can do. But you see, the human services industry, for people who don't know, is people who work with mentally ill people. And what they do is basically they follow the theories of psychology. Now, I don't know how many people here have studied psychology. I assume you have. I assume you're familiar with the theories of Herr von Kochfiend, but that's Freud, you know. He was a Kochfiend. Well, gee, that was supposed to be I have to explain all my jokes, you know, geez. But, well, anyway. Let's see. Okay, well, see, Freud, you know, the thing about Freud is, like, he had all these foreign kind of, like, weird ideas of, like, anal stages and oral stages and general stages and, you know, edible complexes and all these gross things, you know. And, you know, he charged a lot of money to talk to people about them and everything. But the thing is, you know, like in America, people were just uncomfortable with all those, you know, these European ideas of the European accents and the long beards and all that stuff, and the, you know, Weimar Republic Germany and the, you know, transvestites and the women with the weird hats and the long filtered cigarettes and all-night parties and all that stuff. All the images conjured up by that stuff. So anyway, so now actually what you guys, do you know the theory you guys follow? All those behavior plans you do, you know who made up those the theories that's based on? B.F. Skinner. The guy who was so uncomfortable with Herr von Kochfiend and his foreign ideas that he came up with his own uniquely American idea. Can I have a little echo, please?
More echo?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like a real loud. He came up with this theory that people are just like pigeons. You know, like, well, no, geez, I don't know where to start here. No, because it's like, you know, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, all that stuff, like behavior charts and, you know, data charts and all that. That's right, I don't need the echo anymore. I just wanted a little bit, I wanted like a delay for something.
Oh, okay.
Forget it.
All right.
Sorry. My fault, I used the wrong word. But, you know, it's like, all that stuff, it's all based on theories that were done from tests that they did on pigeons. And he just had this idea that people are basically, when you get right down to it, just like pigeons, you know? Like, let's reduce everyone to their lowest level, you know? I want to eat and I don't want electric shock, you know? If I push the red button with my beak, I'll get a pellet of food, and if I push the blue button with my beak, I'll get an electric shock. So therefore, which one are we going to do, you know? Let's take data and see how many times it takes before they figure out that they get the food instead of the shock and all that stuff. Oh, wow, jeez. I thought that was going to be like a big hit, but I don't know.
Slow it down a little.
Well, I once was hanging out with this English woman, and she was over at my apartment. This is actually true. And I asked her if she wanted a cup of tea, and she said, I like tea. And I said, you hate tea, but doesn't everyone in England drink tea? And she goes, yes, but I hate it. Okay. No, I can't do that anymore. Well, my best friend in high school, his name was Ernie, and one time he had this friend, he started hanging out with, there was like this weird guy who like drifted into school, and like no one knew his name, he went by the name Dr. Love, right? So one time I called my friend Ernie after school, and he put this strange guy's voice on the line, and the guy said, what's up? And I said, who's this? And he goes, my name's Love. Another true story, not particularly funny, but true. Well, one time I was talking to a counselor and I forget this one. Okay, one time I was sitting on a bridge in Waltham over the Charles River, and I don't want to do this. I don't want to tell jokes. I'm not going to tell any more jokes.
Why not?
Because I'm just going to stare at everybody. I'm going to stare at Cambridge for a while. Hello, Cambridge. What's this? The closer, wait, you can fix me up on the post. Why not? I'm going to get as close as I want. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. You can't see it? There. Hello, everybody. Hello, Cambridge. Funny thing happened to me on the way to show. Oh, that's right, this is Cambridge, we have to be smart. A humorous incident occurred to me en route to the performance. Hey, can I have a delay?
Yeah.
No, like a delay, like so it goes like, you know? Like last week when I was, well, it'll take a while for him to work on the delay. Here it comes, it's coming. Can I have like a longer delay? That's too loud? put it back on again?
Sure. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, this is gonna be like really irritating sound, you know? Like imagine that every time you close your eyes and try to go to sleep, you hear this voice or this sound. Okay, I guess I'll go back to my normal stuff now. Now that I feel more at home, because I've let everybody in on what kind of insane stuff I'm usually thinking. That's why I'm usually so quiet when I'm at work, is because those are the kind of thoughts that I usually have. I can't share them with anybody. That's why the patients like me so much. Because I don't understand this society and its strange rules any more than they do. As far as I'm concerned, everyone around uses guilt to take away our strength, lies to take away our intelligence, and anger to take away our feelings. And it's a society where the town crier has been replaced by a police car with a loudspeaker on top, where a man must lose all his teeth before he can smile without offending anyone, and where you're allowed to think, feel, and act, just as long as you don't do all three at the same time. And those stupid rituals, you know, the ones where they demean that which they don't understand. Strong enough for a schizophrenic, but emotionally balanced people like it too. Okay, now I'm going to sing, wait, where is that? Oh yeah, an obsessive compulsive song. You'll recognize this voice. I mean this character. Every time you go, well not every time, well half the time, well 3/4 of the time, well I say 70%, well maybe 75% of the time. You take a piece of me, well not a piece of me, well part of me, well a chunk of me, well I say about 30%, well 35%, well you know, I don't know, it's and now, I got the obsessive compulsive blues. Well, not blues. What kind of blues? Well, I don't know. It's sort of bad blues, but not quite bad. I don't know. It's sort of depressed, but I should have quit while I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. Now it's time for the other joke that there wasn't time for before. I was sitting on a bridge over the Charles River in Waltham, and I was in a very kind mood, and I was sitting there writing, and this guy walked by. He's like this drunk guy, you know, like wearing these boots. He's like walked by like that. You know? And as he passed me, he goes, "What you doing? Writing a note to the fish, asking them to jump up?" Die by the sword, live by the sword. Hey man, spare 50 cents for a sword? Well, I'm starting to run out of material here. I've done all the star stuff, so now it's down to the, oh yeah. Now it's time for the economic news. I wanted a chair for this.
Want a chair?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Now for the economic news. Productivities. Okay, that's the economic news. Well, I only have a couple more minutes to go, so okay, I'll do some more psychology stuff. Okay, I once went to a psychologist and I said, isn't it true that the psychiatric profession has been bought out by the drug companies? And he said, no, you must be hallucinating. Take 250 milligrams of stelazine a day. That's all right. You'll catch the gist of it in this next joke. Okay. You know, it's just the thing about like, well, for you, those of you who don't work with the mentally ill, all mental illnesses are treated these days with drugs. No matter what is wrong with the person, they never think that, you know, maybe they can talk about it or like help them figure out something. Well, they do that too, but it's always based on, you don't feel good? Well, better take some drugs. You know? I mean, everything. You know, someone says, "Oh no, the world is just, you know, Western society is destroying itself." No, take some drugs. Our politicians are all lying to us. They're all lying. No, take some drugs. It's a good thing they didn't have, you know, they're called anti-hallucinatories. And they suppress the part of the brain that basically makes you think things that are unacceptable to normal Western society standards. That's true, actually. So I didn't write a book about it. But, so I mean, it's a good thing I didn't have, they just have developed them in like the 50s or 60s, but it's a good thing I didn't have them in the old days, you know, like, the earth is round? Better take some mellow. Or, thou shalt not kill? Better take some stelazine. What's that? You're the son of God? Better take some Moban. The earth goes around the sun? Prolixin. What's that? Subatomic particles are made of pure energy? Better take some Trilofan. The FBI killed the president? How low? J. Edgar Hoover wears a dress? Clozapine. Radioactivity? Unhealthy? Risperidone. No difference between Democrats and Republicans? Prolixin and Haldo. Trilateral what? Nave and Meloril. I'm saying running out of the drugs now. So. No such thing as objectivity? Stelazine. CIA teaching Nazi torture techniques to Argentinian military in the early 70s? Prosperity. White people will listen to rhythm and blues? Stelazine. That's like, you know, the 50s, you know. Oh, yeah. Well, I needed toilet paper for this one to stuff inside my biceps, but... This is my Joe Piscopo impression. Just imagine I have something stuffed in my biceps. The Joe Piscopo impression. I love my son. I didn't think people would even get that one. Okay, how about this? An American Indian and a Buddhist are standing on the street corner talking. The Indian says, "It is impossible for people to own land because we're just caretaking the land and we're not allowed to own it." And then the Buddhist says, "The best thing a person can do is to do nothing." And then a cop comes by and says, "All right, you guys, you don't own this land, you're not doing nothing. You better get out of here, I'm going to arrest you for loitering." Well, gee, I guess I'm just about done. So let me do a little more goofing around with this, can I have a little more, what do you call it?
That's stuff.
No, delay, yeah. Bass the sound man. He has sound advice. He's in a band called the Sound Man. They do a song called Kilohertz. Francis wants to do it. He wants to take full advantage of this huge audience, of which there's usually only 2 or 3 people. And now he wants to. He wants to.
I played before a crowd of 4,000. Of course, it was an anthill. They're easy to control. Throw a couple of crumbs out there, and they're all set now.
Francis likes to soak up attention.
No, Steve, but I'll tell you something. There are 3 other comedians waiting, and you did a 20-minute set.
Okay, so I have no animus against you doing that because all your friends are here. Listen, Steve is here. Next week, Steve Reed from War and Peace. Let's give it up for him again. Come on. That was a Herculean task there. Yeah, he cleaned out the Aegean stables of all his material, and now next week he's going to improv. Well, I'd like to do a short thing before I introduce our next guest who drove all the way down here from New Hampshire, by the way. And you can give him applause when I introduce him, but I've been thinking about this. It's like you can jazz up any old stupid, boring bluegrass song by turning it into a thrash song. Like, this world can't stand long, maybe it's already too late for this very reason. This world is too full of hate.
1, 2, 3, 4. This all can't stand long. Hey!
Well, our next guest, as I said, drove all the way down here from New Hampshire. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, oh no, you didn't come from New Hampshire. You came from North Shore, where?
West.
West where? Hudson.
All right.
All the way from Hudson, Massachusetts, making his debut performance here at the Middle East Cafe at 472 Mass Ave in Cambridge, Mr. Ed Hogan. Let's give it up for him.
Thank you very much. Applaud the courage of those coming in here on the first really spring Saturday that we've had since the 16 snowstorms we have. Evidently you have no life. No, really, I appreciate you all getting here. Those of you with weapons, I'll leave now. No, what I wanted to talk about was, over the last 6 to 9 months, we keep hearing about the economy and, hey, it's starting to come along, and maybe over the last 6 months or so, it really wasn't so bad. Growth wasn't really that great, but interest rates were way down there, and people could afford things. Unemployment was slowly trickling down, and now things have gone the other way, and it's like we can't have it all. The GDP, which is a measure of how much this country produces, is just starting to go through the roof. The Fed's worrying. They raised the discount rate. Mortgage rates are going up. And there's another round of layoffs. They had seemed to disappear for a while. Of course, we've heard about Raytheon 4,000, Fleet Bank 3,000, 9X 7,000. And I don't know about everybody who's sitting out there, but if you're like most people, I mean, I think it's a sign that you ought to keep an eye on the job situation, because you never know where you are. It's going to go south or to the Far East or whatever. So, you'll be sitting at home tomorrow morning, lazing around after that big heart-stopping country breakfast, 3 eggs, a half-pound of bacon, coffee, get through the artery, come on. You got the Sunday paper meticulously strewn about your living room, your dining room, your kitchen, wherever it is you hang out tomorrow morning. Hey, help wanted classified. Jeez. Remember what that guy Ed was saying yesterday? I better have a look at those. So you pick them up and you start leafing through, and you get that newsprint all over you, that carbon black that's in the ink, and you scratch your face and you got some war streaks on it now. You walk down the hall. Oh, I needed to paint that anyway. Gray would be a good color. But anyways, if you flip through there, you'll see it's loaded with all these come-on ads for jobs that are just too good to be true. You know the kind. We grew by 1 zillion % again last year. How did you do, sucker? Come join us as we market the product for the 90s, which we also passed off as the product for the 80s, 70s, and 60s. Real 6-figure income potential, no investment required. And remember, just like the beer commercials, it didn't get any better than this. Call 1-800-YOU-FOOL for more details. Now, I've gotten a little bit, I have a pretty stable situation, but still, given the way things are going, I keep looking at these. I get tired of seeing these phony ads for phony jobs. You don't really see too many ads for some serious somber, perhaps, you know, a little heavier stuff. I mean, have you ever seen something like an executioner in the classifieds? Kind of might go something like, person with absolutely no spirit, feeling, or demeanor needed to flip switches and make injections at county penal facilities. Must enjoy B movies like the soon-to-be-released docudrama UN Attempts Food Drops Over Bosnia. Please call County Penal Commissioner for more details. Now, I realize that's probably a little too heavy and too somber, and if you know any maladjusted people who would get into that sort of thing, I suppose you could send them down to New Braintree with all the crime going on. They probably could find some work. Something a little more light might be, you know, businesses in this country are constantly peppering us with new product offerings and trying to get a handle on what it is we might like to buy. And they load the market with all these products and, yep, we buy them. Well, the reason why they know that they work is because they hire people, they call them new product testers, and these people actually test the products before they put them out on the market. So there's plenty of products coming out. There should be plenty of work as a new product tester. And I thought that maybe testing alarm clocks might be something useful. In one of the heaviest snowstorms that we had this winter, my trusty old digital finally gave up the ghost when the powers came back on. It couldn't handle the surge. So I needed a new alarm clock. Went down to my local department store, into the home electronics section, and they just hundreds and hundreds of clocks stacked neatly on that, you know, hardened steel, clear, see-through plastic that you can't get at the clock, and that when you get home, it just shreds your fingers to bits. And you couldn't, you know, like standing there trying to rip it out. You gotta switch hands, your fingers kept getting cut. But anyways, you can't really test them out. I was looking at one, looked like it had the features I wanted. Took it home, plugged it in, set it up for 6 o'clock the next morning, and thought nothing of it. Well, geez, doesn't 6 o'clock the next morning arrive? This thing goes off, it sounds like we're under nuclear attack. This is Larry King from CNN. Missile launch has been detected. You are dead. And I just imagine, what do they have? They have an old warehouse down on the waterfront. And this would be a pretty good job if you could get it. You eat, sleep, watch TV. They want to check the alarm clock, see if it wakes you up. But you must have this old warehouse floor strewn with cots, all kinds of people sleeping there. And the criteria for determining if that alarm clock will be successful, i.e. wake you up, you gotta just, you know, like Kramer, well, Jerry, come on, you know? Now, beyond these mundane things, one surefire way to grant yourself some success and not have to worry about all of this is to come up with a new product, something previously unavailable that people would want to buy. You know, you sell a couple of gazillion of them in a year or two, and you wouldn't have to worry about these shenanigans anymore. You could just quit looking for work and just live off the royalties from your product. And I think I ran into something. I was out in the car the other day, driving around as we all want to do every day, and I heard these two radio commercials. They were back to back. The first one was for Trojan condoms, and the second was for an automobile anti-theft device. And I got to thinking, you know, kind of like, wow, I could have had the PA say, hey, this could be something. You put those two together and you come up with a car condom, right? And they say, yeah, this has potential. I mean, think about it. Just like the prophylactic condom, the car condom would prevent against the spread of disease, at least as far as your car is concerned. You know, you're driving around with all this rock salt they're throwing out this year. Rust is a thing of the past. You don't have to worry because your car is wrapped. It's protected. And also, like the prophylactic condom, the car condom would prevent against accidents. You know, you're coming in on Memorial Drive, of course, all that sand's all over the place now. You skid on a patch of sand, you're heading for one of those lampposts, don't worry about it. You got so much rubber on this, you'll bounce right off the thing. And finally, one advantage that the car condom offers over the prophylactic condom is that, unlike with the prophylactic condom, the car condom, you don't have to worry about leaks. If your car condom springs a leak, you just tear the mother off and put another one on. But if your prophylactic condom sprung a leak, well, depending on the consequence, you might not know it for a couple of months or maybe several years. That's all I had planned for today. Thanks.
one American. And, well, now, Ed was a first-timer, but now, of course, he'll be back week after week, we hope, because we love him. Don't we? Let's give him a hand. I love him, in a brotherly way, mind you. I mean, if he needed $300 for an operation, I would give it to him. 500? I don't know. Talk to my agent. Our next guest, however, is somebody who has performed, or I should say graced this stage instead of performed on this stage, because he has truly graced this stage with his magisterial presence time and time again. And now he's back, and his name, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fred Bates.
Hey, Chris. It's fun to be here. It's fun to be tall, too. You know, there are not many advantages to being tall. I mean, I don't play basketball. My dick's only an inch long. Just joking, it's 2 inches. I guess the only advantage I can think of is that on an escalator, I can fart in your face. Hope you all had it's a tough winter to have a car in Cambridge, it really is. Yeah, I just spent $75 to get my car bailed out. I just spent $35 to this parking clerk of Cambridge. I think I'm in a little trouble though. I wrote out the check to the parking jerk. Heard about that crossbow incident, huh? People who kill each other on the highway, no, with a crossbow. Drive carefully, I tell you. I think a solution to this would be to have all the traffic violators solve their problems amongst themselves in a great state-run demolition derby. Take that, Mrs. Flanders, and see if you ever pull out in front of me again. Yeah. I was driving out driving the other day, and I saw a sign that said, Jews for Jesus. Made me wonder, is there another group out there called Catholics for Pilate? The NATO's putting pressure against Serbia. Maybe now they'll be subservient. What else is Whitewater? Clinton's fallen aide, Mr. Nutsbaum. Nutsbaum. Sounds like Mrs. Bobbitt's knife. Then there's Nancy and Tanya. Tanya and Nancy. It just goes to show you that old adage is true. Beauty may be skin deep, but ugliness goes right to the bone. They have Weight Watchers. Tell me, why don't they have fat fucks? They have the new TRA weight loss system. I think they should have the new TROTH weight loss system. Send the smaller and smaller troths to the fat fuck each month. You know, the word Haagen-Dazs is the word Hagen. Food backwards is doof. Mr. Bobbitt was dyslexic. I'm sorry, I have that transposed. He has less dyslexia. He's less dick sick. Mrs. Bobbitt's just out of the penal institution. There's Dr. Kevorkian. Is he the kind of doctor that you sue if you live? Why is it someone has to plead guilty? I'm guilty. We know. You don't have to plead guilty. I don't think that psychic fair should have to advertise. If someone's psychic, I think they know where the fair was. You know, Freud used to wear female underwear? No, I'm sorry, that was just a Freudian slip. And now a laxative for the anal compulsive. Mrs. Bobbitt had penal envy? It's interesting the way different people speak. I live in Cambridge. People speak differently in Cambridge or in Somerville. Someone in, Cambridge would say, if one was to attend Harvard, and they were to have mental impediments, they would experience cardiac difficulties. Someone from Somerville would say, now look, if you're not that smart, let's say you're fucking retarded, and you go to Harvard, you'd have a goddamn heart attack. Starting a vibrator company. It's called General Motors. If condoms make for safer sex, why is it I slipped on one last year and broke my arm? That's what I'd like to know. What if they gave an orgy and nobody came? I was at a CVS pharmacy the other day. There was a little kid there, about 2 years old. He was screaming and crying and crying and screaming. It was really irritating. He was about 2 years old. He was sitting right next to a whole wall of condoms. I felt like going up to his parents and saying, hey, if 2 years ago you bought a condom, you wouldn't have this little problem right now. If an elderly lady has the clapper, not the clap, but the clapper, clap on, clap off, the clapper, and she was to fall down a flight of stairs, would her lights go on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, like a strobe or something? May look like she was still. May surprise some of you to learn that in spite of all the high technology and advanced procedures involved in a modern-day liver transplant, that the only thing used to transport the liver between the bodies is a plain blue lunch cooler. That's all they use. Helicopter lands, they come running out with it, but that's what it is. I just hope there's not a mix-up. See, just during the dramatic point in the operation, when the liver is supposed to come off the ice, bologna and cheese sandwiches! I suppose the human liver would kind of bring down the beach party. Well, it's about all the time I got time for this time. Bring it back to Francis. Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm a postmodern MC, which means I'm supposed to comment on the performance of Mr. Fred Bates. I would say Fred has been working very hard on his material, and he is a very funny man naturally to boot. So let's give him another hand. What do you think? In fact, and now I'm going to do like the vulgar comedian doing the MC. Fucking Fred, man! He was a blood. He was fucking. What's wrong with you? You fucking kid, motherfucker! Come on, man! Come on! So anyway, yes, I can't reiterate. Mr. Fred Bates, come on, come on. Too much LSD? Not really. Julianne Gavin, a first timer. Let's give her a big hand. A warm up.
How you guys doing? We got a nice enthusiastic sound man impersonating an audience back there. I'm very happy you're here. My name's Julianne Gavin. I come from a really big Irish Catholic family. We like to get together at wakes and funerals. First thing we do when we get to the funeral home is race over the corpse, make sure we got what we paid for. At my great uncle Michael's wake, his daughter looked down at the corpse and said, "My God, I've seen hookers with less makeup." And what did you do to his hair? Why would anyone give an 80-year-old dead man a permanent wave? Ma, your dead husband has an afro. The poor SOB looks like he died of embarrassment. I'm not paying for this. All I ordered was a shampoo and a trim. Soundman. Yeah. Thank you. My mother's been married 3 times, and every time she gets married, she wants monogram towels. So I got her the kind where the initials have Velcro. Thank you. You want to run around the room? Oh. My brother Marty is a ventriloquist. When he's in bed with his girlfriend, he likes to throw his voice and pretend he's having a menage a trois. For him, laryngitis means impotence. I knew the impotence joke would go over well in this room. He likes to brag that he can press 200 at the gym, but he can't close a door or a cabinet all the way. Thank you. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? How many people here drive a car? Any drivers in the audience? Yeah? Don't you hate it when somebody pulls in front of you and slows down? These are people who truly enjoy anal sex. They make a career of getting rear-ended. Went to the DMV to renew my license. Walk in, there's 1,000 people, signs, Spanish, English. Why don't they just put up one sign? You are in the wrong line. I was there so long I actually read the Massachusetts driver's manual. Thank you. Do you know that in this state it is illegal to daydream while driving? By applause, how many people here do not have sexual fantasies in the car? That means we're all jailbait. How would they possibly enforce this? I mean, what is a cop going to stop me and say, ma'am, you are in violation of section 44478, operating a motor vehicle while copulating with Mel Gibson? I don't think so. I had a fantasy on the expressway today. It didn't work out too well. I had an anxiety attack instead of an orgasm. Indiana Jones and I were on the expressway in a bathtub full of Jell-O, but when I make Jell-O, it never gets hard. He almost drowned, his whip got wet, and I rear-ended the guy in front of me. What would I do without you? I was raised Roman Catholic. Any fellow victims in the audience? Anyone else with original sin? The only method of birth control that we are allowed to use is the rhythm method. This means we have to count the days between cycles to figure out when it's safe to have sex. And this method is so effective, there are 55 million Catholics in the United States today. Celibate men make these rules. If men could get pregnant, tampon machines would never be empty, and we'd have birth control that actually works. I used to try all those weird little gizmos they invent for women, and they all come with the same mystery diagram. This thing is drawn by a dyslexic Japanese computer programmer who has never gotten laid. It's got all these little squiggles and wiggles and curves and loops, and nowhere in this mess does it say, put me here. I'm sure that you hate wearing a condom, sir, but you never have to wonder where to put it. You put a condom in the wrong place, you probably don't deserve to get laid. And the diagram always says effective only if used properly. But how can I tell? It's not like I get it in the right place and the bell goes off. I figure the best I can do is pop it in, jump up and down. If it doesn't fall out, get out there before he finishes without me. But you'd never do a thing like that, would you, sir? Because you are a nice guy, and nice guys finish last. Any strong, independent women here? Megan? And Megan, when you have sex alone, do you ever fake an orgasm so you won't make yourself feel inadequate? That joke went well in a room full of men, didn't you? I'm not leaving on that one. I don't care if it is 5 minutes. A lot of women in the news today. Tanya Harding's home. Anybody here think she ought to be arrested? No. If having bad taste in men was a crime, most women in America would be in jail. And Lorena Bobbitt is out of a mental institution. I think she should have been found guilty of littering. Also a good joke to tell in a room full of men. What would happen if Lorena Bobbitt married Jeffrey Dahmer? What would the kids be like, Legos? Behave yourself or Daddy will disassemble you. The Navy and the Air Force have been assigning women to combat roles on ships and planes. I don't think the Marines are going to put women in foxholes anytime soon enough, because there are no showers. You see? This is a new joke, so you're going to have to work with me on this. There are no showers there. That means things get real funky on the front lines. This is the real reason we can't serve in frontline combat units. The smell would kill us. And you know what they serve out there? Deviled ham and Spam. Have you ever smelled a Spam fart? Oh. Now that's what I call a chemical weapon. See, we couldn't compete here because women don't fart. We don't. That wasn't me, that was a truck backfiring out there. Or you're in a car. No, don't open the window, the smell is outside. It wasn't me. Or you wake up in the morning, and your significant other says, you were farting all night. You farted so loud, you woke me up. The guy upstairs was banging on the ceiling. I thought he was going to call 911. I'm like, I'm sorry, she's farting and she won't wake up. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, yeah. Now, let's see. There must be something they can get me on stage on. Televangelist Pat Robertson has got his knickers in a twist again. What a surprise. It seems it was a puppet show in Atlanta where the puppets had oral sex on stage. Now, doesn't this guy have any sense of humor? Oral sex is funny enough when people do it. I'd just like to know which one of them got splinters. I'm betting on the girl puppet. It's from my experience that we do most of the work in this area. That's good enough. I'll get off now. You guys have been very nice. Thank you very much. Of course, Mr. Gordon.
Julianne Gavin, we hope to see you here again and again and again. That was fantastic. I mean, I went to charm school, so instead of saying bullshit, I say fantastic. No, it really was. It was great. Wonderful. Marry me? So anyway, before we conclude the open mic segment of Comedy on the Edge, I'd just like to mention, hooray for all you people who are doing stand-up who brought people, and those of you who are doing stand-up who didn't bring people, well, it's okay, because this isn't Catch a Rising Star. We don't rebook you on the basis of how many people you bring. But if you want an audience, help me out. Help me out. Hey, can you help me? Can you help me out, man? I mean, putting up posters all around Cambridge just isn't doing it, you know? Especially since they're written in crayon, you know? I could put up posters around Harvard, you know, but, oh, comedy? How déclassé. Put it up around MIT, you know, it's like, comedy, that does not compute, you know? So, put it up around BU. Wow, 1 in the afternoon. Anyway, yeah. I know when to get off, and it's right now, but we'll be back with the featured performer, and thank you all very much for attending. We hope to see you week after week, and we want to make a go of this because, hell, there's hardly anywhere else to go, and, you know, I know it's pathetic that it's like 1 in the afternoon, but hey, if we pack this room, who knows, we might graduate to Sundays at 1 in the afternoon. So, see you later. Thanks. Artie Friedman gave it to me for the price of a drink. You're kidding? No, I am kidding. It did come from Artie Friedman, however. But he doesn't drink, or does he? He just tries to steal demo tapes that are left lying around. But that's okay. Well, welcome to Comedy on the Edge. As you can see, I am picking up broken glass. Our last act was a... No, that's our next act.
The real trick, eat the glass.
Well, no, we had a carnival geek in here, and that was his specialty, gargling broken glass. But he's not here this week. Instead, what we have for your delectation, do you think I could pick up all this glass without cutting myself? If I had a napkin. Oh, I just cut myself.
Well, we can't do that.
Wow!
All right, that's the kind of blood and violence we need. You're going to raise your middle right up.
Shit, I did cut myself.
Is this rated?
This is serious.
Well, I guess you're going to be out for the next month or so.
Uh-oh, Janet Reno, look out. I just cut myself. Blood and violence.
Well, that's what happens when you break glass on the stage. You're lucky you got shoes on. Yeah, break glass and get cut.
Fix it, I cut myself.
The best thing you can do is chop it off.
Well, let me suck it out and swallow it. Oh man. Oh man. Nothing happened. I cut myself a little. So what?
Is it still recording?
Oh, but of course. Because now you are tuned to Comedy on the Edge, and our guest for today, our featured performer, Mr. Brian Melvin. Let's give him a hand.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Careful with that water.
The danger trick.
that? Got it. How's it going? Great. I see we pretty much weeded out everybody, huh?
Weeded is right.
Weeded.
They're voting.
Was it something I said?
Oh, it was him.
Yeah, really. We're really raking in the crowds now. People at home can't see it, but there's actually about 2,000 people watching me right now. They're all mutes. If they were deaf, it'd be a little better. I like coming here, though. It sort of reminds me of my brother's apartment in a sense, like with the posters on the wall and the grungy carpet. And I tell you, if there was a couple pairs of dirty underwear on the floor, this would be his room. You know, a bachelor, like my brother's a bachelor. There's no food in the house. You go into his fridge, all he's got is a beer and a salad. He's been living there a year and a half. I think the salad was there when he got there. He keeps it around in case he runs out of toilet paper or gets really hungry, whichever comes first. Like, you guys never wiped your ass with lettuce before?
Leather.
Lettuce.
Oh, leather, yes.
These is as far as I go. My brother thinks if he rolls it up, he'd make a little snack. I'm like, I don't know, Jack. I think Taco Bell has a patent on that. You know, when you come from a middle-class idiot family, when your mother heats up the house with the microwave when the heater breaks down, I know it was dinner time when I get a vicious headache and my goldfish would die. She cooks everything in the microwave like it's a 30-pound frozen turkey. She throws in macaroni for like an hour. I'd be like, I don't know, Mom, by the way the paint on the outside of the microwave is starting to melt, I'd say it might be done. And then she'd take out this burning bowl of lava and put it in front of me and say, it might be a little warm. Like, no shit, Mom. By the way, the macaroni just melted my spoon. I never would have guessed. Throw the thing out in the corner on the side of the road. A bunch of bums that come around and roast marshmallows on the crap. Sometimes I get lucky and the macaroni would burn a hole through the table and fall through on the floor and I wouldn't have to eat this shit. But, I know, I got more radiation poisoning from my mother's cooking than about 6 Chernobyl accidents. I'm afraid to have a kid because he'll probably have a hand growing out of his ass and a foot coming out of his head. Or the only guy that can shop at Marshall's irregular section and the clothes will actually fit. One of these times I'm going to say that, Francis, and there's going to be a guy in the back of the room who has a foot growing out of his head.
Filene's basement.
The kid will be looking at me saying, I don't get it. No, but what else is going on? Me and my friends just got thrown out of Disneyland after one of them took a leak off the boat and it's a small world. How embarrassing. People are getting off the thing saying, well, if you think about it, it really is a small world. But that guy had an awfully big cock. You don't say that getting off Disneyland. I mean, the ride sucked. Any guys been in? Yeah. Been on a small world? Well, if you've never been there, let me explain it to you. First of all, the ride's about 6 hours long, and they play that heinous song the whole time. They get stuck in your head for about 2 months after you get off the thing. For which my friends were nice enough to sing the whole trip home. Which I turned up and pulled over and said, look, it may be a small world, guys, but it's going to be an awful long walk home if you don't shut the fuck up. But, my dumb bastard friends, they made the mistake don't get me wrong, they're educated. I'll have you know that they've gone to the finest drinking and driving schools anywhere in Boston. I mean...
And they got the best there.
The best they do. Yeah, the finest drinking and driving institutions. Graduate magna cum drunk or something. Now, I made the mistake of taking them to a party at Tufts University, being around the intellectual superiors. They didn't care though. They were just happy to be at a place where they could pretty much kick the crap out of anyone they wanted. But they got along because our kids from Harvard would teach them how to add and subtract in, ways that they could comprehend. My friend's like, you mean if I have 4 beers and I drink 2 and I whack someone over the head with another one, I'll still have another one left in my cereal in the morning? That's pretty good, Einstein. What's next? Take the entrance exam for the Special Olympics? But, My friends are kind of scummy. I feel like a magician when I'm out drinking with them, because I can make them disappear by saying those 3 important magical words. It's your round. Get it? I can make girls disappear. Just tell them you make under $20,000 a year. That's stupid. My friends are scums though. One kid, I think he just went robbed from his mother. When he was a sperm, he's probably telling the other sperm, look, I'm just going to go in to check the zygote out. The zygote's an anchored fertilized, correct? All right. I'm just going in. What's that? Francis knows. He's a sperm. He's a sperm. He probably says to his little sperm friends, look, I'm just going in to check the egg out. I promise I'll come back to you guys when I'm done. And then he goes off into a nice warm womb, and all his buddies end up on some guy's sock. Hey, where you going? I'm going to Thompson's Clam Bar. Yeah, it's a heinous song from Las Vegas, the Thompson's Clam Bar song. But what else is going to say? I think I'll refer to my veritable plethora of notes. People are so sensitive about their animals. You ever notice that? It's like you can't make fun of someone's dog. This guy comes running out. That wasn't the punchline.
Long story.
Oh, really? Okay, no. It's sort of like ruins the effect when there are 4 people in the room and one of them's laughing at someone else's jokes.
My own jokes.
Oh, I know. Don't get me wrong. One guy said, I was making fun of him. He said, about one of my gigs, he said, ridicule is the first and last argument of fools. I responded by saying, shut up, dickhead. Huh?
Did it work?
What?
Did it work?
Yeah, actually it did. Hey, where you going? Let's see. Francis, I stole a part of one of your jokes.
Go ahead.
Okay, and they say never let you see them sweat, that commercial? Yeah, but showing your big, gross armpit to 1 million people is okay, huh? Huh? Well, you gotta work at it, Francis. I don't want to see your armpit. I just saw your belly button. That's a scare enough. I hope kids aren't watching this comedy show.
You don't need to see my armpit. This place is an armpit.
No shit, huh? I know. If they had directions how to get to the Middle East, it'd say, all right, get out on Mass Ave, all the way down past Grossman's, and it's right about there.
Follow the trail of vomit.
Yeah, right. Yep. Let's see. This guy comes running out. We're making fun of his dog. Things about $1 billion. He says, you all making fun of my dog? Like nobody. We're just complimenting him on his tooth and his piece of warm fur that he has that you leave him out all winter with. It actually looks like a show dog. So why don't you show it out to the woods and kill it? You all making fun of my dog. Kill it. Like the dog is gonna have like an anxiety attack. Let's see, should I bark? No, they'll think I'm stupid. Hey. Ever get locked out of your house naked? No? Looking at me like, what would you be doing outside naked? Get in the mail! Now, I used to lock my little brother out, you know, like when I'm there. He spent half his life pleading with me to let him in the front door. And I spent half my life standing on the other side going, poor little bastard. My mother would come home, all she'd see is his little white ass sticking out of the snow. She thought it was the new Bronco shovel holder. It's like, Ma, that's not a shovel holder, it's a hand warmer. Hey. Geez, I don't know. Gilligan's Island. Ever notice they never change their clothes? There weren't just 7 straight castaways, there were 7 sloths. I mean, Gilligan must have had a skin stain on his underwear the size of the island. And it probably tastes just like that guy's food. Comes in and makes fun of it. I can't handle rudeness.
You know what?
Huh?
He could do worse.
Yeah, no shit. Bunch of clowns. Let's see, this is really going to be shown on cable access, huh?
Yeah, but no one watches it.
Yeah, right. It's a little of an oxymoron. Hey, who are you calling moron? I was watching the Muppets and I was thinking, you know, Miss Piggy, if you look at her the right way, really isn't all that bad looking as far as pigs go. And I'm not even from Arkansas. I just want a girl that can cook, clean, shovel snow, and maybe owns a liquor store.
Yeah.
Yeah! And maybe she turned into a pizza at 4:30 in the morning. But I don't want to get too picky. Let's see. This is known as hacking. Is anyone like a real audience member? I mean...
Yeah, that guy over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, really?
I'm the audience. Stand up and admit it. I'm the audience.
You're the minority.
Give the audience a hand.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, thank you. Me and Mike are getting paid to be here, so.
Oh, really? Well, I'm sorry not getting paid. Well, you get what you paid for. Did you get paid off of?
What, beer?
You know why we're here. We're here for the same reason you're here.
What's that, to make a complete ass out of yourself? I used to stand outside my mother's door with groceries. And you don't want to put them down. No, I'm just practicing. Yeah, man. And man, yeah, man, this was my first guy. Yeah, man. See, I speak. That's all you're going to say. Yeah, man, after every sentence. Let's see, friends, anything else?
You know any reggae songs?
Get up, stand up, stand up for the rest. And maybe I'll go get in with those guys. Let's see, I don't know. I just want to prep. I used to stand outside my mother's door with groceries. And I think, you don't want to put the groceries down, so you just sit there banging with your head. Am I taking up too much time? Am I boring you guys?
You better bring Steve up here.
Yeah, okay. Alright, let me see if I can...
Steve, you want to do?
Steve?
Yeah, what time is it now?
It's quarter to.
Oh, we need to get this one.
Hey, the show goes like 1 to 3 fast.
No way, man. 1:30 to 2:30. That's what I was told.
I'd like to bring up a very funny man. He's done all sorts of shows at local mental institutions and various pictures. He's a good friend of mine and just a great gentleman and a scholar. I'd like to bring up, please give a nice warm round of applause for Steve.
Steve Ho!
Thank you. That was Brian Melvin and
Let him push him. He's pushing
there's
him off this
Steve Iskovitz. No, I was patting him on the back, which, you
He
know,
was pushing you, wasn't he?
I wasn't pushing anybody.
Oh, easy.
I'm going to sing a reggae song, okay?
That's being pushed.
Lying in the jungle, and in the concrete jungle. Well, here's someone you won't read. Mr. Steve Iskovitz.
Francis DiMenno, I'd like to thank you for, number one, putting me in the awkward position of having to perform in front of people who think that I shouldn't be here anymore because you told me a different thing than you told them about what time the show's supposed to go on.
Are we going to have to go to a higher authority, Francis?
That's number one. Number two, doing the same material I was just about to do when I got on stage. And number three, I forget. But that's all right.
Don't step in that broken glass.
And number four, for breaking glass on the stage before a show. And number five, for being a genius. lecture about Cambridge on Saturdays. I hate people in Cambridge on Saturdays, especially at the food co-op, because everyone acts so polite all the time. It's like they don't even exist. Like you walk by them and like, you know, it's like their aura is shrunken down to like, you know, the size of a pea. So they can fit in to Cambridge on Saturdays. And they support righteous causes, just as long as they're far away and don't have anything to do with them personally. And that's what I think about Cambridge on Saturday. Hi, I'm rock and roll. I'm from Mississippi, but I've been living in California for the last 30 years. Trucks are a spiritual thing to me. 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 You've seen the commercial, haven't you? You never saw the commercial about trucks are a spiritual thing to me? Here's my impression of a junkie Flintstones fan calling a radio station. Okay, a junkie Flintstones fan calling a radio station. Hi, could you play Way Up or Way Up? Hey, Bass.
Yeah.
I have a little echo.
Yeah, man.
I mean, not echo, sorry. Delay.
Yeah. Just a minute. Go ahead. Go on.
Hello. I was having fun, but I sensed that I was the only one in the room who was. So I decided I should stop. Well, I was thinking every day is kind of like a day, you know? Like the 60s were kind of like Friday night. And the 70s were Saturday. It's like everyone was kind of laid back, not doing much. And then the 80s is kind of like Monday, because everyone's working all the time, really miserable. What are the 90s going to be like?
Hump Day.
Hump Day?
Yeah, I think that's Thursday. Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Well, I want to start a convenience religion called 9 Idols or Less. That's the longest I've ever heard Francis laugh at a joke. Okay, here's my Florence Henderson doing Rodney Dangerfield. I'm okay now, but last week, whew.
I was a mess. Oh yeah, okay, I'll tell a true story now. Would you rather hear a true story or another song?
True story.
Okay, today I got out of the cab at the bus stop in Waltham, and there was a guy, this is true, there was a guy lying in the bushes. Well, it was like, you could just see his legs sticking out, and the rest of him was in the bushes. So I went over and I had the money from the cab, and I said, like in my hands, and I walked over to him and I said, hey, are you all right, man? He said, yeah. I said, you sure you want me to call the ambulance or something? He goes, no. He goes, could I have $2 though? And I was holding $8 in my hand because I had just given the cab driver a 10 for a $2 cab ride. And I actually said to the guy, no, I don't have any money. It's a true story, perhaps not a funny story. Well, there was this really cute cute woman, sorry Cambridge, jogging down the street, and I was riding by, and she looked over toward my direction and smiled, and the reason she smiled is because I was riding in style. A new MBTA bus, not one of those old ones. How much longer should I go on, Francis? 5 more minutes? I don't even...
Well then, wrap it. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I'll just, Oh, I know. I'll finish up with my song, which is called The Sheep, They Are A-Grazing. The times they are a stately say. No, wait. Our mental levels are going down. Our social structures are crumbling to the ground. I tried to say something, but there was no one around. So I think I'll spend my day lazing, 'cause the sheep, they are a-grazing. They expect us to live a life full of pain, and anyone who objects is labeled insane. And most people don't have any nerve, and so they get just what they deserve. Just like a shriveled up raisin, 'cause the sheep, they are grazing. I gotta get the nasal voice better into Bob Dylan. Well, that's all for me.
Thank you, Steve. Come on, let's hear it. Share your story. Yeah. Well, that inspires me to share a little song with you before we have to wrap up the show. And it's called You're the Reason That I Had to Get Married. Imagine Noel Coward playing piano. You're the reason that I had to get married, but I like you all the same. The only thing we have in common is our name. You're the reason that I had to be ordinary. When you can call me on the phone, the only time we're happy is when we're alone. So, you're the reason that I had to get married, but I like you all the same. The only thing we have in common, the only thing we have in common, the only thing we have in common is our name. Dun, dun. What's that? We want to make up a song? Like what? All right, we'll take improv with suggestions from the audience here. I just want to take a minute of our show. You got a theme? Okay, what's the theme?
Strip show side act.
Okay, and what's the style? Cheap strip show side acts in a disjointed style. Let's say hair ubu. Let's see.
My name is Rocco. My name is Rocco, and I have a dick the size of Well, all right, we'll try another one. This time Steve will do the solo. Do you have a theme, Richard?
Narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy, and a style?
Hey, Francis.
Okay, narcolepsy done in a fast pace. Hello, Brandon. Ready?
Every time I see you, I want to fall asleep. Woohoo!
Okay, let's see. My wife just told me that I am fired. He said I'm fired because I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. I sleep everywhere. I sleep in my chair. I sleep in my underwear. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm very, very tired.
I'd rather eat than listen to you. That's why I go to sleep.
Good night. This is Anne's Cafe Cabaret.
What do you want?
Oh, I'm not complaining to you, Chris. I'm just talking.
Listen, Callie, I'm sick of you people coming here. You people!
But Francis, we love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce Mr. Steve Iskovitz.
Vince. It's Vince. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry. Greeting. Introduction. First joke. Second joke. Third joke. Fourth joke. Serious comment. Personal comment. Pause. Sixth joke. Bomb. Seventh joke. Moderately funny. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, I have a knock-knock joke. Hey, can I have a little less that funny stuff there? Thanks, it's all right. I'll use it. I would like it later. Okay, knock-knock. Steve. Steve Iskovitz. It's like a minimalist joke or something, you know? Or is it minimally funny?
How you doing? Thank you.
I have schizophrenia and agoraphobia. My house is afraid for me to leave it. Well, I was hoping David Mann would be here so I could tell my new age jokes, but
Tell him anyway.
I'll tell him anyway, even though I told some of them before. Okay, my impression of a disillusioned new ager. You mean the Dolphins have been lying? My Rodney Dangerfield is a new ager. I went to one of those new age bookstores. I tell you, had an out-of-pocket experience. And here's my impression of a new ager. I was praying the other day. Channeling. I had an interesting thought. I channeled. I worked hard and developed a new skill. I was channeling. The other day I inherited $50,000. I was channeling. But only Dave would have gotten that joke. Okay, here's my song that I made up just moments ago as I was riding the bus in. Breathing gas on the bus, my head starting to buzz, but I don't make a fuss. I'm just breathing gas, breathing gas, breathing gas on the bus. Now I'd like to do a little presentation called JAG, which Francis will probably be the only person who will understand. One day, we were playing King of the Hill, and Schmitty threw me in the Jagger bushes. You jag you! You jag you! You jagging me! You jagging me! Those are all Pittsburgh expressions. Okay, here's my impression of a hillbilly satyr. Who the hell forgot the fucking yeast? Huh? What do you see? Passover, you know, the matzah.
I thought you meant Satyr.
I don't know what Satyr means. Well, can I have some just weird, just whatever, man. Just like weird stuff. Oh yeah, okay, I'll tune myself. Yeah, you can like just mess around, man. I'll tune myself.
Okay.
It's like tuning a guitar. Oh, that's great. Hey, can I have a delay?
Delay?
Delay, yeah. We're waiting for the delay. So, Jeff, you're what happened, Jeffrey? Do that weird deep stuff you were doing before. Like the really low.
I gotta get to it somehow.
Oh no, nothing about my effects. Nothing at all. Well, while we're waiting for the effects, I'll tell the judge.
No more effects.
I'll sing another song. No more effects?
Please, we can't understand you.
Well, I wasn't trying to say anything.
The dials aren't coming out right, so.
Alright. Well, I'll just end with
We'll
this.
work on it later.
I'll end with I'll do my little song. I gotta be you, be true to your lies. I'm starting a band called Full Court Steve and the Carnival Fried. And, well, I guess I'll tell the story about the guy on the Greyhound bus. I was riding on a Greyhound bus across the country, and there was this guy sitting behind me who had just gotten out of jail for cocaine dealing or something. And there was this really big woman, like kind of overweight woman sitting next to him. And they were talking, they were having this really long conversation for like an hour or something. And we got a rest stop, and we got back on, and I looked around and she wasn't there. So I turned to the guy and I said, where's that lady you were talking to? And he goes, who, the whale? The whale? It was kind of funny at the time, but well, now there's an audience after I've told all my jokes and I can't remember.
Let's do an improv, Steve.
All right, sounds good.
This is the part where you, the audience, participates. Yes, but don't worry, we won't say anything to embarrass you, the audience, without whom there would be no show now, would there? No, it's a musical segment, and what we ask of you is that one of you suggests a theme. Does anybody have a theme? You know, something.
Sex in the 90s.
Sex in the 90s, and do we have a style from someone else? A style of music?
Rap.
Oh no, we can't do rap. We're too white.
No, I'll do it.
All right, you do it.
Nothing, well, you have to be my beatbox.
Okay.
Nothing turns me on more than the smell of spermicidal jelly.
Well, that was a rousing success. Let's try another one. Another theme, if we may. Another theme.
Hey, while people are thinking of a theme, I'm going to do my little poem. It goes like this. Only don't do it unless there's no reason not to. Do you want me to throw this chicken at you? It isn't pretty! Eggs and graph paper. That's it.
All right, do we have a theme? A theme. Brian.
Yes, it's very true.
Shout something out. Comedy. And a style?
Something foreign to us.
Okay, a style? Something foreign to us? We want to do this? Yeah, a style that's totally foreign to us, like maybe good music? Arabic music? All right, you do the Arabic backdrop and I'll Well,
I think we're kind of,
tiring.
yeah.
Well, then we'll bring up somebody who's sure to bring a smile. Mr. Brian Melvin.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, Steve.
Thanks, Francis.
That was Steve Iskovitz.
I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for this shit. I think I'll just tell a couple jokes and then get off. They found a gay dinosaur. You know what it's called? Megasaurus? No? Wait, they found. Nah, these jokes aren't gonna go over well. All right. They found a lesbian dinosaur. You know what that's called? Lickalotopus. No? I think I'm out of line. Oh, shit. Oh, jeez. So, this guy. The guy from, any guys check out downstairs? They're doing the audition, not the auditions, the practice for Jesus Christ Superstar. You guys get on there? Oh, you haven't? It's awesome. The guy from Extreme. Gabby Ciccone, I think his name is. Yeah, he's Jesus Christ Superstar. There's no comedy in this. I'm not exactly in the mood. Let's see. What do you think, Francis?
One more joke.
Oh, one more joke? Yeah. Kentucky Fried Chicken is come out with a new meal for Nancy Kerrigan. It's called Two Small Breasts in a Battered Thigh. No? And Tanya Harding's opening up a new club. It's called, well, a new bar. It's called Club Kerrigan. You do? Why do you hate? You know, everything about the news is always one extreme or the other. Like they built her up to be, you know, this invincible crush. She's great. And then all of a sudden, you see how they trashed her? Isn't that strange? There's a backlash and everything. And Bill Clinton, the same thing. What's old news? Yeah, people get bored hearing all good things about us, so they gotta write bad things about it. I don't know. You guys got any jokes? All right, come on up here. What's your name? Emily. Oh, you know something? Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round warm of applause for Emily.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you. So I'm going to do my Stephen Wright impersonation and talk deadpan because my friends are in the audience. Just got back from Los Angeles. Yeah, I was in Los Angeles for a few years, and this one's for Amy. Went to see so many movies and so many screenings in LA that I bought popcorn and soda to go into the real world. Yeah, I was there during the earthquake. So that's a joke. And I've come up with this compilation of earthquake songs, and I'd like to share them for you. No, actually, I don't think I can do that. Well, for $9.99, you get Shake, Rattle, and Roll. I feel the earth move under my feet, and I've often walked down this pavement before, but down the street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. But I'm not going to sing those for you. And I'm going to close now. Before I do, I just want to make one observation that since I've come back, I've been dreaming about actors. I just, got Hollywood on my mind. I just can't stop dreaming. And the other night I had a really awful nightmare. I dreamt that I was impersonating Howard Stern. And this is true. So now I'm going to stop dreaming about actors and I'm going to dream about politicians. Thank you very much. You've been a great audience.
Keep it going for Amy. Would anyone vote for Howard Stern? Just out of curiosity?
Emily.
Huh?
Emily.
Yeah, he's running for governor. Would you vote for Howard Stern?
Me?
Yeah. A libertarian. What's that? Not really. Thanks anyways. Where you guys going? Oh, really? Yeah. All right. No, thank you. Francis, that's all my time.
Well, thank you. This ends another performance of Comedy on the Edge. Yeah, I bet you're all relieved. And our sponsor was Jesus Christ Soup. Now, are you tired of boring old chicken gumbo, chicken noodle, chicken raspberry, chicken vinaigrette? Well, try Jesus Christ Soup. The only soup that gives you spiritual advice. As you're eating it, the little letters in Hebrew say, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Only with Jesus Christ Soup. Well,
Hey, Fred.
yo.
There's a couple of news items to make.
All right, let's see them. Oh, thanks. Did I work on my act much? News items. Okay.
Well, it's something about Rush Limbaugh. Oh yeah, about the citrus industry.
Oh, great.
Here, here.
Rush Limbaugh being paid $1 million to pitch orange juice on his show? Some state lawmakers think the idea is a lemon. And they're responding by trying to shake up the Florida Citrus Commission. The lawmakers say they're afraid that Limbaugh's combative conservative ideology, kill the queers, will hurt the state's citrus industry. Well, Anita Bryant did wonders for them.
Yeah, he's such a seedy guy.
And they're flabbergasted that he would be hired by the same commission that dumped former spokesmen Anita Bryant. They know more than we do. Former spokesmen Anita Bryant and Burt Reynolds. Maybe they know less than we do. Former spokespersons, let's say. Former spokes undead. Anita Bryant and Burt Reynolds for making too many waves. Now you can read another item at the same time. No, at the same time. A different item. Ready? All the news you need in 2 seconds.
A Boston
We're concerned about Florida's image, and the image
on
of
a
most
daylight drug raid in
Dorchester should not be a
Dorchester ran through the door of the wrong apartment
the Citrus
yesterday
Commission,
and
which is
handcuffed
somebody with
a
such
frail,
strong and political views,
retired
regardless of what
Methodist
they are.
minister
The Senate committee has withheld
who collapsed
confirmation of
from a
Governor
heart
Rod and
attack
Charles'
and
latest
died,
3 nominees to the
according to
Citrus
a
Commission until the governor
The heavily
assures
armed
them
police
he'll make the panel
entourage
more
of about
diverse.
13
12 of the
officers
commission's members are
wielding
white,
rifles
11 are
protected
men.
by
The
both
3 nominees are all white men.
stormed into
The governor has
the
also
second-floor
nominated a white woman to join the commission.
struggled briefly
But the
with
Senate has already begun her
Reverend
confirmation
Williams before he
process.
fell unconscious to
Weinstein,
the
a member of
floor.
the Senate committee, says he thinks a more diverse
Reverend
panel
Williams was
would have chosen
75
a spokesman
and alone in the
other
apartment.
than Limbaugh.
Thank you.
This one is pretty dry. This one is wet. These are technical terms. Dry means very few effects augment the sound that comes across the microphone. Wet, on the other hand, indicates reverb, delay, and echo. So I think you want the dry microphone. Let us welcome our next guest here on Comedy on the Edge, Gilana Gelman. Come on, give her a hand. Let her know.
Jesus, I'm really nervous. I've never done this before. When was the last time I said that? I'm like hurt. I guess since this really is my first time, I should start by telling y'all a little bit about myself. I'm 20 years old, I'm Jewish, and I attend a small artsy college in southern Vermont. Vermont is a really strange place. It's absolutely beautiful, but and it's got the cleanest air I've ever breathed, but they don't accept the 20th century very well up there. Did you hear about the Walmart scandal? See, Walmart wanted to build a store in Vermont because that's what Walmart does, they build stores. And Vermont said, no, you can't build a store in Vermont. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, that's crazy, you know, you want industrialization, but then I thought, I understand. First you got a Walmart, then a Caldor. Before you know it, the whole neighborhood's gone to hell. The kids are bringing their crossbows to school and wearing their caps on in class. But the thing is, you gotta feel bad for the kids because they don't really have much local spirit. They're all bused to Vermont Regional High School, and the competition for that cheerleading squad is fierce. The name of my college is Bennington. Bennington was once infamous for being the most expensive school in the United States and for breeding entire generations of anti-establishment lesbian vegetarian poets. But now nobody really cares about that, so they're just known for their food and their great Sunday brunch. At Bennington, we don't receive grades. You see, it's the feel-good institution of America. So instead, our professors hand us out written comments evaluating in detail all the work we've done for the term. But I sometimes get the feeling that these are as much to fluff our auras as they are to help us with our academics. I think the last comment I received said something like, Gilana's paper on Ulysses was finely written and well thought out, but I would encourage her for the next assignment to delve more deeply into her heart and to consult her karma if she has any problems. I don't know, I do love it there. I was always the black sheep in my family, and it was kind of expected that I'd end up at a place like Bennington. It's hard to be a creative type in my family. We've got lawyers and dentists and teachers and computer geeks. Well, then there's my dad. I guess my dad's kind of strange. He's a nuclear physicist and a rabbi. So his business card says, bombs constructed, also available for bar mitzvahs. Poor Dad. He's had it tough over the years. I mean, the guy did his best and everything, but I can see why sometimes he's got this sad look on his face. I remember once when I was growing up, I decided I would sit at the head of the dinner table for once. You know, I would be the king, and my mother, she set me straight. She said, no, that's right next to the microwave. You'll fry your brain. Besides, that's your father's seat. Meal times were lots of fun, though. We're a family that loves to eat, and it shows. Occasionally, though, my brother Jonathan will say to me, you've got to be more conscious of what you put into your body. And just last week he said to me, learn to eat like a lady. And I thought, learn to eat like a lady. I do. When I'm with you, I eat salad with light dressing and Diet Coke, and when I get home, no carbohydrate is safe. Break out the ho-hos, the door's closed, nobody's home, get me into my little nuclear shelter, I'm ready. I'm searching for stray M&Ms in the couch. I know somebody had M&Ms last week. Anyway, all right. Before I get out of here, since I may never do this again, I have to do one more thing. I have to prove myself a real comedian, if only for a day. I have to do an impression. So I have one impression. It's Kermit the Frog. Okay.
Hi, Mo. Kermit Frog here, Sesame Street News. I'm a talking frog and I date a blonde pig. Film at 11. Thanks.
In Newport, Rhode Island, in New York City, they give you 2 minutes. Here, we give you 4 minutes. Let's hear it for Gilana. Our next guest is a very distinguished gentleman. He comes via Concorde jet all the way from London. No, I'm just making this up. Actually, it's Brian Hughes, and he's been here before. He's a very funny guy. Let's hear it. Come on. Brian Hughes.
Good evening, ladies and viruses. You know, it's an old line. It's updated for the 90s. You know, I've been practicing safe sex for as long as I can remember. Actually, it's my partners that practice safe sex. Truth is, I ask women to go to bed with me and they just say no. What I'd like to talk about today is the Beatles, you know, since most of the Beatles are getting back together this year. They defined an entire decade, didn't they? They came over to us in 1964 singing I Want to Hold Your Hand. In my 1968, they were singing Why Don't We Do It in the Road? You know, from innocence to hedonism, I think that sums up the 60s rather nicely. Why don't we do it in the road? You know, for those of us that may not be familiar with this little ditty, or those of us that just need to be reinitiated, I'd like to recite the lyrics of this great song as they appear on the lyric sheet of the White Album.
Is the yes here as well?
Why don't we do it in the road? No one will be watching us. Why don't we do it in the road? Boy, McCartney sure could write a love song, couldn't he? Can you imagine Paul and Linda, the lovely Linda, home somewhere in England? You know, they send the kids out for the evening, they build a romantic fire, they have a nice candlelight dinner, and then after the second bottle of wine, they move over to the couch for a little necking. Things get a little hot and heavy, and Paul picks Linda up in his arms and proceeds to carry her outside. Right out the front door, right out onto the middle of Main Street, where no one will be watching. There better not be anybody driving either. You think Paul McCartney has tire marks on his back? Can you imagine filling out the accident report, you know, you see him in the middle of the road, watch out, watch out! Low credential. Remember the old joke about Paul McCartney and Wings a few years back? You know, a little kid would say to his father, Daddy, is it true that Paul McCartney was in a band before Wings? Nowadays, the little kid says to his daddy, Daddy, who the hell is Paul McCartney? You know, the same thing for George Harrison. Little kid would say to his daddy, Daddy, is it true that George Harrison was in a band before the Traveling Wilburys? Of course, nowadays, we've got a whole new generation saying, Daddy, who the hell is Tom Petty? Then, of course, there's the drummer, Mr. Ringo Starr, proverbial luckiest man in show business, and indeed he was. Played with the greatest show on earth for all those years, and then they broke up the band, and poor Richie, what did he do? Well, he did the only thing that he could do. He did the only logical thing. He became a very active alcoholic. I don't know what kind of shit he was on when he wrote Octopus's Garden, but alcohol became his drug of choice after the breakup. But Ringo's okay now. He's doing fine because he's discovered 12-step program. That's right, he's discovered AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, can you imagine going to a meeting with Ringo Starr? You know, he's sitting there, he plucks up the courage, he raises his hand, he stands up tall and announces to the world, Hello, my name's Ringo. Ringo S. I can just see people nudging each other saying, I know this guy. Yeah, you know, I thought that was Yasser Arafat for a minute, but yeah, yep, that's Ringo. Richie, can I have your autograph? So much for anonymity. But you know, no matter what the Fab Three do in 1994, I don't think it's going to be the same without Beatle John, do you? You know, we still love him, don't we? We miss him. Remember all those wonderful things that he used to do? Like the time that he posed naked on an album cover with his lovely wife Yoko in 1968. Wasn't that precious? Artistic, wasn't it? Absolutely visually appealing and aesthetically pleasing. Now that would have been a reason for shooting the bastard, wouldn't it?
I have that album.
Do you?
Yes.
Very listenable, isn't it?
So it's a vacuum cleaner.
That would have been another reason for shooting him. Of course, letting Yoko sing would have been another. But really, I think John Lennon is probably up there, up in that big gig in the sky, watching down upon us. But yet, I still have to wonder. What really happened on that fateful day back in December of 1980, when John Lennon approached the pearly gates? Can you imagine how Jesus must have felt? Picture this, picture Jesus up in heaven, walking past the entrance to the pearly gates. Is that him? Oh. Hey, Pete, take a break, it's through. Get a cup of coffee or something. I'll take care of this one. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, who have we here? Mr. Popularity. More popular than me, isn't that right? Had a tough death, didn't you, son? Pumped you full of lead, didn't he? Well, John, you know it ain't easy. You know how hard it can be. Would you like to come inside, son? Would you like to enter through the pearly gates? Would you like to enter the kingdom of heaven? Well, John, imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Yeah. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Yeah, you know, I always did like ball better anyway. Thank you very much.
Brian Hughes, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Hughes. Come back next week. And now, our next guest, my good friend, Mr. Steve Iskovitz.
Which mic is better to use? This one or this one? Well, I was actually going to do a joke about the song Imagine as well.
Do it.
Well, maybe later. I'll do my introduction. 2 arms, 2 legs, just like you. What's the difference between a professor and a comedian? Professor gets paid more, and if you heckle him, you might not get that D you were hoping for. My motto is, if I had $1 million, I could be dying in Paris right now. I used to be a gay schizophrenic, but I had to stop because I'm not my kind of a guy. Well, I went to a kind of weird college too. The Bennington student isn't here anymore. I went to a weird college. It was like a school for rich radicals, and people used to say, "Oh, who cares what the government thinks?" And I used to say, "People whose parents can't afford lawyers, that's who cares what the government thinks." Some guy told me a poem yesterday that he wrote. It goes like this. What iron necessity drives this age that brings to naught the wisdom of the sage? Not funny, but this guy I met actually wrote that poem.
Some of Walt Whitman's in there.
Yeah, well maybe he got this, maybe he like unconsciously ripped it off from Walt Whitman or something. Well, I was thinking of going back to college and like being in the middle of like a really serious lecture and just all of a sudden just going it's like start singing the Bugs Bunny thing, you know, when everything's getting too complicated. I was just in Pittsburgh and coming back. I got a ride with my sister and her husband and her 2 kids, who were really young. And they wanted to stop at Hershey, you know, take like the Hershey factory tour. And this is actually true. So we got to Hershey late in the afternoon. We were looking for the tour, and we asked somebody where Hershey Park is. And he goes, "Oh, they don't have the tour at Hershey Park anymore. You got to go over to Chocolate World." So we said, "Oh, where's Chocolate World?" And he goes, "Oh, you get on Hershey Boulevard, and you make a right on Chocolate Drive." And I was like sitting in the car, like slightly stoned, you know, having to listen to this guy telling us how to get to Hershey, how to get to Chocolate World. It was very funny at the time. It was also very funny when I thought of writing, telling it, but apparently it was a book. There are a lot of head shops in Pittsburgh now. Francis, did you know that? There's like 3 head shops that I saw in Pittsburgh. They used to not be any before.
Yeah, there was one, heads together.
Yeah, but they stopped selling paraphernalia in the 70s because it was like the state law or something. All of a sudden there's 3 of them. There's 2 in Oakland and 1 downtown. You know, it's like the pot activists are always talking about how, you know, pot's good for business and all that stuff. You know, but I figure, like, if pot's good for business, what's the point of smoking it? I mean, even business isn't good for business, you know? Why should pot be good for business? Well, my friend wants to be a stand-up comedian back in Pittsburgh, but he's too afraid to get on stage, so he told me this joke. He was making fun of alternative culture and everything, and he said, "Why are fat people happier than skinny people? Because they have more room for tattoos." Oh well, I'll tell him I told him here, and he's gonna laugh.
That's because you rushed it.
Yeah. Because I'm in a bad mood. I'm in a bad mood. If I was in Pennsylvania, I'd be in a good mood.
Pretend.
Well, I'll do my impression of Thomas Wolfe. I went back to South Carolina, but it just wasn't as good as it was when I lived there as a kid. I don't know why. Oh, wait a minute. How about, you can't go home again? Yeah. No, I liked it better the first way. I was talking to my brother about the state of music today, the state of improvisational music, and he came up with this brilliant phrase: "No one can jam anymore because everyone's dead." I went through New York on the way back, and I came up with these 2 words of wisdom. New Yorkers don't stop and smell the roses because the roses are all dead. And New Yorkers are sophisticated at making money, walking fast, and averting eye contact. Okay, how about this for a music review? Went on so early, I almost missed them. Went on so early, I almost missed them. Okay, with the new mathematical theory, which I actually believe. 1 + 1 is everything but 2. Okay, here's my John Lennon impression. Imagine all the people kicking you in the balls. You may say I'm a whiner, but I'm not the only one. Okay, the Velvet Underground is just the Archies on heroin. Running out of material here. Looks like I'm totally out of material. Oh well, I'll just leave with this final comment about America. Melting pot seems more like Pol Pot to me. Thank you.
That was Steve Iskovitz. You know, Steve Iskovitz. You know, there's a little bit of Steve Iskovitz in us all. Exactly what that constitutes, I couldn't say, but nevertheless, it is so. Well, in the remaining 2 minutes of this portion of Comedy on the Edge. I'd like to tell you about how I took a tip straight from the horse's mouth. And it was all wet and slimy. And I tried to put it back, but I lost half my hand. And now I got disability. How did this happen? You mind telling us? Well, I put my hand in a horse's mouth. Oh. Well, okay. Was your mother on AFDC? Or what? Ah, yes, well. This is what happens when you do a comedy show in a rock club. But someday, we're going to slowly take over all the comedians. Someday, a rock act will have to preface their set with 5 minutes of funny jokes. We'll all have respectable jobs writing jokes for musicians. Because, let's face it, all comedians really want to be musicians, and all musicians really want to be comedians. I've observed this. What do musicians talk about when they get together? They tell jokes. They don't talk about music. What the comedians talk about when they get together. They sure as hell don't, like, give their material to other comedians. No. They talk about music. So, let's put the two together. Comedy and music. But until that time, this has been Comedy on the Edge, and we thank you very much for attending and tuning in. Is there one more comedian in the house? No? Good. Where is he? Where'd he go? Well, anyway, my name's Francis DiMenno, and, well, I don't know. I'm tempted to come back and do another 10 minutes. What do you say? No? No? Okay. Well, then I won't. I'll take a well-deserved rest. Good night.